Hi, President Gash. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today at Newswaves. We really appreciate it. You came last year. We appreciate you for coming again.
Yeah.
So the theme of our special show this year is moving forward. So I thought it would be great to interview you because I noticed all of the changes that Pepperdine has undergone within the last year during your presidency, all of these incredible advancements of the university. So first I'd like to discuss our Four Angels Endowed Scholarship, which is a new scholarship that Pepperdine created to honor Deslin Williams, Peyton Stewart, Asha Weir, and Neve Rolston. So what's the process of choosing a student for this award?
Yeah, well, let me first just say thank you, Nora, for the invitation to come here. I love having the opportunity to speak with our students, both one-on-one and directly to the rest of the community, and talk about what's happening at Pepperdine, because Pepperdine isn't just moving forward in the last year or under my presidency. I inherited 7 leaders who advanced Pepperdine from a regional school in South Central Los Angeles to an international school here in Malibu. And so it's a privilege that I get to have to carry the baton forward. And so with respect to the Four Angels, I mean, it's October 17th changed my life. It changed your life. It changed everybody who's watching this live as the devastation kind of became known over the course of time. And it was such an incredibly impactful thing to have to hold on to the knowledge we had until we were allowed to release it. And it was something that I think will shape who I am and how I try to lead, and the people that I get to do life with. The team that I get to work with, the steering team, 21 men and women who love Pepperdine, who love God and love our students, to watch them in action. And those are the times where you see, what kind of people do we have here? What are they made of, and how will they lead? And it was a huge honor to walk alongside them as they walked alongside the families and the community during that time. And so the important thing that we wanted to come out of this was to remember. We wanted to know, we wanted the families to know, we wanted the students to know that we will always remember these Four Angels. And so what better way to do that than to commemorate them in perpetuity in an endowed scholarship? So what we wanted to do is allow anybody who wanted to give to be able to be part of this legacy that they created. And they created that legacy by who they were while they were living. And they were incredible people, and we saw that and heard that as the testimonials came. So what we wanted to do is to have a scholarship in their honor that would be awarded to an Alpha Phi student or Alpha Phi students, because that was their sorority. That was something that they were attached to. And when they were lost, they were part of an Alpha Phi event. And so that's kind of how that came to be. There's also something else that we're about to announce, and I'll kind of give you a preview of that, is there's going to be a memorial, physical location on campus that will forever memorialize them. And it will also be a tribute to the other students we've lost while they were at Pepperdine. But there will be 4 lights, and those 4 lights, one for each of them, and it's going to be behind the chapel. And our plan is to dedicate that before graduation.
That's amazing. So
stay tuned for more on that. But that scholarship will be something that forever people will know that there were these 4 angels that were here.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I really commend Pepperdine for their support of the community during that loss, because they were just beautiful women, beautiful girls. And the loss was really felt hard at Pepperdine.
It's devastating. It's devastating. Every time we lose a student, it's devastating. When we have 4 that perish at once in this way, particularly the way it was drawn out over time, where we weren't allowed to say what was happening. It was a time that will forever change Pepperdine University.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I think the scholarship and the lights will be a great way to remember them, because they will forever be remembered at Pepperdine. I know that for sure.
They will.
So moving into another project that you kind of spearheaded, ground broke in September for the Mountain at Mullen, this remarkable new addition to campus. So where did the idea for the Mountain originate from?
Yeah. Well, I'll kind of talk about 2 different things. There's the name, the mountain. I'll talk about that, but I want to first talk about the project. The project is something that this university needs and has needed for a while. And so in the early 2000s, there was a project that was envisioned called SREC, Student Recreation and Event Center. And it was to be one building that was an arena and some student fitness. And over time, that didn't get the traction that the prior administration hoped it would get. It was part of some campaigns, and it was envisioned as a basketball and volleyball arena and a student exercise area. And it was needed, but it wasn't needed for that reason. Ultimately, what happened was when I got the baton, my leadership team and I proposed to the Board of Regents something that was different. It had some of the same components, but it was a gathering place, not a building, but a village. A place where people would come and watch, of course, the Waves play. They would worship together. They would we envisioned a cafe. Let's eat together. What do students do together? We worship together. We root for the Waves together. We eat together. We exercise together. We do intramural sports together. We park together. And so the idea was, instead of having an arena and having a place of gathering, because what's the most important thing right now for this generation at this time in the world history is to be in community together, because we see the mental health challenges that this generation is facing, and it's not just the generation your age, it's younger and older, this epidemic of loneliness and anxiety and stress and depression that is caused by lots of different things, one of which is the phone in my pocket and the computer on my desk. Another of which is just this isolation. And so to get people together in community, to get them doing things that are fun and interesting and good for their bodies, what was the vision. And so we went to the board and said, we have this vision not just for a place to play sports, but a place to do life and a place to become a better, healthier person. So that vision, the board bought, and it was we had the first board meeting that I was president, and I had a chance to present this to them, and in the end, it was this pause, like, what do you guys think? And one of the board members, Sheila Bost, said, no, it was Peter Johnson who said, the question that the president is asking us is, are we going to stand with him in this project? And Sheila Bost said, I will, and she stood up. And then Peter stood up, and then another one stood up, and then everybody was standing up, and then we all clapped, and it was like, okay, we're going to do this. Yeah. Next meeting was, how are we going to pay for it? Yeah. That was a bigger question than what should it be. And by the time the December meeting was over in 2019, we had a plan that we were moving forward, and we've been going full speed ever since. Now, going full speed means different things at different times. And right now, we went down, and so there's a big hole. Parking first, because we got to add parking before you take away parking. So we added behind the baseball field, and then we took away part of it at Row. And then we're building, and we took away the rest of it at Row. And so the way it's sequenced is parking finishes this coming fall, sometime during the fall of 24, and then the other three buildings, so parking structure, the arena, which is 3,600 seat arena, that can be brought into a stage for 4,000, where concerts, where one of the parts of the stage seating moves back, and so there'll be a stage there. And then there's the RISE building, the Resilience Informed Skills Education building, where we're going to be focusing on helping students learn these resilient skills to help with their mental health. And so that will have 10,000 square feet of fitness space. Now, up until last year, we had 2,500, and then we brought on this temporary structure that has 5,000. So we doubled. Now we're doubling again, 10,000 square feet of exercise place. And then there's the, what we call the MAC, the multi-activity court, which is practice gym for the teams and intramurals. So instead of having one court, we're going to have three, with Firestone Fieldhouse, to where students don't have to be told, get sleep, make sure you're taking care of yourself, and your intramural game's at 11 o'clock tonight. Yeah. Because there isn't any other time for the gym. And so what we're trying to do is create a place of vibrant student life with some of the best views in Malibu. I don't know, have you been to the mountain showroom that we have,
I have not.
on campus? Just
Where
let
is
me
it?
know. It's on the 3rd floor of Thornton.
Oh, wow. I'd love
It's
to
got
see.
2 full-scale models, one of the whole village and one of the arena as well. And so,
Wow.
so at some point, we're giving more and more tours are going through that. But
Yeah.
I'd love to have you come and you can take
Yeah.
your cameras and
Yes,
film what's
that would be
happening.
amazing.
So that's the mountain itself. The name, our first steering retreat. You know, I had been named, and we all got together before, actually before I got the baton. And we had this vision that we wanted to sell to the board of what we wanted to do. And I asked the head of marketing at the time, Rick Gibson, I said, come up with a theme, like give us something to chew on. And he did a phenomenal job of going back to biblical themes and location themes. And then he kind of, as he talked, he drew, he's a talented artist, he drew a rock, and he said, the rock. On this rock I built my church, rock of ages, you know, rock of salvation, rock. And we're like, awesome, bigger, not Rock Mountain. And so that's how the name was born, is the mountain. And the Mullins, Terry and Sharon Mullen, mountain at Mullen Park. You see there's Mullen Town Square down below, what we call below, what we soon will call below, because we'll have the big part up there. They gave a massive gift to fund the whole thing, so that it's come the mountain at Mullen Park. The entire gathering space will be Mullen Park. Okay. There'll be a little a grass area called Mullen Green, where the current fitness center is, just below the waterfall. And then there'll be lots of different names. We've got the Ruth Rubenstein Rise building that's been named so far. We've got the Pluger Terrace.
Wow.
A lot of naming opportunities still available for anyone watching, for the right price.
For a low price here.
Yeah, not a low price.
That's
not a low price.
Not a low price, a high price.
Yes.
That's a remarkable project, and I think it's really going to enhance the university. I don't know if I'll be here, but I will definitely have to come visit.
Fall of 26 is
Okay.
when it officially opens. Now, you'll be here for the parking structure.
Yes, I'll be
And
here
so
I'll park my car there. I
You
sure
will. And I will say, when the parking structure is done, the complaining about parking will cease.
Yes.
We'll have parking
will.
for everyone.
Yes.
Won't
Yes.
always be exactly where you
You
want
get
it
a
to
spot.
be.
You get a spot.
Yeah, exactly. I love that Oprah
Yes.
reference.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited about the mountain at Mullen, and I think students are as well. So along with this whole new section of campus, Pepperdine is also launching its 6th school,
Right.
the School of Health Science. So how do you think that this school will expand the Christian mission of the university into the health field?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We saw during the pandemic, some of those in the industry saw before that there was a massive need in the healthcare arena for medical health providers, including nurses and physician assistants and physical therapists, and every need in every area.
Yeah.
And Pepperdine had been reluctant for years to take a step into the healthcare arena. That just hasn't been center of the bullseye. But when the pandemic happened, it was really clear that serving people in their darkest, deepest need is exactly what Jesus would have us do. And so what better way to do that is to equip young men and women to go into the profession to help people in great need, particularly at a time when this country and the world was in great need. And so we did a little bit of initial exploration, enough to decide we're going to actually dig in deep. And that's when I asked Michael Feltner, who was the then dean of Seaver College, to take the lead on this exploration, because he was a former professor of sports medicine. And man, is the guy a phenomenal administrator. I mean, he knows how to navigate all of the accreditation things you need, and he would be a phenomenal evaluator. And so he took the lead on that. Lee Katz, who was a vice provost, took the interim position at Seaver College, and we went off to the races of trying to figure out what this looks like. So then we came to the board again. There's the theme here. You come to the board and say, here's an idea we have, and here's what we'd like to do, and present it to them at the first of the December meeting. Here's the sketch for nursing first, and then in the February meeting, it's usually a March meeting, it was in February this year, we said, here's the whole thing, and the board gave their go-ahead. So here's what's going to happen. Fall of 25, so a year and a half from now, we begin nursing. 3 different cohorts starting in the fall of 25. least this is the plan. I mean, it's not in stone.
Yeah.
Freshmen will be, they'll do first and second year here in Malibu at the Seaver College campus.
Okay.
So they'll be part of that. Roughly 50 or so each class. So it won't be a massive influx of population, but some. At the same time, the fall of 25, junior transfers. So people who have been at junior colleges or other schools who, I would have gone to Pepperdine if you had nursing. Now you've got nursing, can I transfer? The answer is yes.
Come on in.
So those juniors will be at the Calabasas campus. Now Calabasas campus is just through the canyon. And so you do your freshman and sophomore year here or somewhere else. Then you do your junior and senior year at the Calabasas campus, where it's really clinical heavy. So you're going to be doing clinical rotations in various parts of the area with some partners, some phenomenal partners that we have yet to publicly announce who we're going to be working with in the clinical placements. Stay tuned for that. And then the third cohort is going to be what's called entry-level masters. So if you were like me and you majored in something other than nursing, so I was a finance major, if I decide I wanted to be a nurse, then I start this entry-level master's program. So what I do is I do my first 2 years and I've got a bachelor's degree, I do 2 more years nursing specific, and I get my nursing degree. Then do 1 more year to get a master's so I can be a leader in nursing. And so we'll have 3 different groups that are starting to graduate people in fall of 26, and then the plan is just to continue to go with nursing. At the same time, we start our speech language pathology school. So College of Health Sciences underneath School of Nursing, School of Speech and Language Pathology. So those individuals will help people like me. I grew up having to go to speech when I was a kid. I had a pretty heavy lisp. Most of it's gone, but sometimes when I get excited, you can see it. So that group of professionals will be getting their master's degrees at Pepperdine. And then starting each year, we'll be adding occupational therapy, School of Occupational Therapy, under the College of Health Sciences, School of Physician Assistant, School of Physical Therapy. Now, each of these take a period of time for the accreditors to be able to give us the permissions we need. But we expect by 31 to have opened the last of the schools. Now there'll be other programs as well that we're exploring, other things that will be a master's degree or a focus, maybe in nutrition, maybe in genetic counseling, maybe in anesthesiology. So there's some different things we're looking at. We're not, just to make sure we're clear, we're not talking about a medical school. Not at this time, and not for the next decade.
Okay.
I mean, one could hypothesize sometime down the future, but it's not even in the back of our mind right now. We just want to, oh, you guys going to medical school? No, we're not doing medical school. Just like we're not doing a football team. We're not doing a football team, just so you know. I would love to have a football team. I played football in college.
You could be the captain.
Yeah, but we don't have any room for football here. And we don't want to do anything unless we can do it with excellence. And we believe that we can do health sciences with excellence, just like we do journalism with excellence and teacher education and biology and business and everything else that we do with excellence. We're only doing this because we determined we believe we can do this with excellence. We wouldn't be able to do a football team with excellence. Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to think of it. So you do everything perfectly. It's
not
amazing.
Perfectly.
But Pepperdine is pretty perfect.
Yeah. Well, I will say I agree with you. But one of the things that we all see is that we fall short, and we do what we can to strive for excellence, but we will fall short. We will have situations where students get frustrated because, yes, the parking is coming, it's not here yet, and that's true. We understand that, and yes, there are big trucks going back and forth, but there was also, we love the library, right? Payson Library, incredible. There was a time when it was closed while it was being renovated. And so each generation continues to build for the future for Pepperdine, and each generation inherits some awesome stuff that somebody else had to suffer through what was being built. But then they also will be inconvenienced at times for what's coming next. And there are other things that are coming as well. I would love at some point to talk more about the capital projects on this campus that we're planning. And there are several more. Yeah,
that would be amazing. So back to the School of Health Science, another question. What do you think will set apart this School of Health Science from all of the other programs that are offered throughout the country?
It's the students who choose to come here and the faculty members who choose to come here. You've gotten to experience this, and we were talking about it off camera before we started. Some of the professors you have are just some of the best people in the world. And they're here. They didn't become the best people in the world after they arrived. They came here because of what they believe in what we're doing. Yeah, they probably got better because they've got some awesome people around them, mentoring them and walking with them. But we're going to have faculty members who get who we are and what we're trying to do and be attracted to us for our Christian mission, for our desire for excellence. And students who choose Pepperdine because they had other choices. I want to be at a place that values what I value, that will strengthen me to be a leader after I leave here. I mean, you're here on camera looking like you've done this for years. I mean, honestly, you're going to be, if you choose to be a broadcaster or whatever, I mean, you're prepared. And that's what we do here, is we prepare people to lead. Yeah. And we're going to do that same thing in the nursing field. Yeah. And as I said, we've got some incredible partners already lined up that are going to be really helpful to us, not just as employers after they graduate, but as clinical placements and helping us create the curriculum that's going to be specifically what's needed right now in the field. Because there's curriculum that faculty create because that's how we've always done it. Yeah. But what we're going to do is create a curriculum that's informed by those who say, this is what we need the nurses to be able to do, like right when they start. This is what we want the PAs, the physician, the physical therapists to be able to do right when they start. And they're going to be part of helping us shape the curriculum as we build it.
Yeah. Well, one thing about Pepperdine that I love is how practical the curriculum is and how much it helps me in my field work in journalism and teacher education. So
yeah, we have incredible people we get to work with every day.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Pepperdine alumni to be in hospitals and helping the world in that way.
We do have doctors that like, for example, my daughter is a physician assistant. She went to Pepperdine, and if we had a PA school, she would have come here. Yeah. But we're now going to have them trained in their medical profession at Pepperdine rather than prepared to be trained in their medical profession, but trained here at Pepperdine. We're excited about that.
Yeah, they're going to be full Pepperdine alums, which will be amazing. So this was also the year that the new Switzerland campus opened in Vevey, Switzerland, the Chateau de Hauteville.
De Hauteville.
De Hauteville.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
I had to learn it took me years.
Yes.
It's not even Hauteville.
Hauteville.
And they say over there, Hauteville.
Okay.
I don't speak French, but I got Hauteville. Yeah, so we just call it the Chateau.
Okay, the Chateau.
Makes it easier.
That's much easier. So it's obviously beautiful and amazing, and it was actually a project for a while before Pepperdine students actually heard about it.
Yeah.
But what are you hearing from the first cohort of students who spent the year at the Chateau? Yeah,
I'm hearing, more than anything, I hear two words: blown away. That's what they say. I'm just blown away. We actually had some cameras on the ground when the first class arrived in September and was filming as they walked in. And just to watch, they were giddy. Just like, oh my gosh, are you even kidding me? I saw pictures. It's like Pepperdine the first time. You said, oh, I've seen pictures of Pepperdine. That looks pretty great campus. You get here and you go, ah. Yeah. That's what they were doing. Wow. I mean, it's 90 acres. We have phenomenal study abroad campuses in London, in Heidelberg, in BA, in Florence, in DC. But those are buildings. Like, we got a great building. This is 90 acres. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially more than 10% the size of Pepperdine. I mean, it's a mini thing, and it's got vineyards as far as the eye can see, and they're growing wheat, and it's got a forest, and it's got a cell tower that the locals pay us to be able to have the cell tower there. Wow. And it's got room for 90 students in the castle itself, and then another 29 single rooms for graduate programs. Wow. Got 2 other buildings where we're going to have 16 students in each of those when it's finished. It's truly spectacular, and the students are appreciating and recognizing that. It's just fun to talk to them and to watch them. I've been able to be there when students were there a few times, and just to see them experience it. It's amazing. And it was a massive upgrade from Maison de Luc, which people loved, but the Chateau is just... the Lausanne facility was a fantastic study abroad building, or really 2 buildings. It was a church and it was a youth hostel that were together. And our process was, again, this predates me, I would love to take credit for it. History will reflect that I signed the documents in October of 19, but my predecessor, Andy Benton, and his team deserve the credit for finding that, because we needed to do some upgrades to that campus. We've done that for the Switzerland, for the London campus, for the Florence campus, for the Heidelberg campus. It was time to upgrade the Swiss campus. And so the thought was, how much, we're going to spend this much in upgrading, and how much could we sell this for? And could we get something, if you take the money we would have spent and the money we get, can we get something else? Mm-hmm. And what they got was 10x what we had. And it was some incredible negotiation. It's a tier 1 historical site for the country. Mm-hmm. It's the highest level of protection. And for Gary Hansen, our executive vice president, to take really a year and a half to walk through the process mm-hmm. with the Swiss government, with the family. The one family has owned it since 1760. Wow. One family. And to be able to cast a vision of why they should sell it to us for 1/4 of the price they had already been offered for it.
Wow.
We got it for 25% of what they were, because they caught the vision. We want to turn this mm-hmm. into a place of life, mm-hmm. place of gathering, a place of education. And not only are the students enjoying this, we are having conferences there now every few weeks. Wow. We had an European Union cybersecurity conference that was attended by 2 former heads of state, the UK wow. Prime Minister, former President of Estonia, with defense ministers. We're having the Chief Justices from the continent of Africa are gathering there this coming fall.
Wow.
We've had conference after conference after conference because the place is big enough and grand enough mm-hmm. to where we can have conferences where students can sit in the back and watch these conferences happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a convening place. It is a convening place like no other university has in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly remarkable.
Yeah, Google it. Don't take my word for it. Google Pepperdine Swiss Castle. Google that.
Literally, when I saw the pictures, I was blown away as well.
But we're using it in ways that advance the kingdom of God and education mm-hmm. and peace. I mean, Switzerland is known for peace. Our Strauss Institute for Dispute Resolution, the #1 in the country, mm-hmm. has already held a couple gatherings there where we're having mediators from around the world gather wow. to upgrade their skills and to be together. And so it's a jewel in Pepperdine's crown,
yeah.
Like that kind of fits. Well, you got Malibu and you got the Chateau. I mean, yeah. it's a miracle at Malibu. It's the name of a book. There's a miracle at the Chateau as well. That story is still being told.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it even has its own train stop.
It does.
Which is
Swiss Rail. Like it's not just this is where you get off. It's the Chateau d'Hauteville stop. Like this is created for that particular.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You need to go visit it because not only we're having students there, but we're doing an annual family camp where we're having
wow.
alums come. And so we've got one's happening in, I think, early July.
Okay.
And so if anybody's watching, if you're interested in going to the family camp, where they're going to go and stay and enjoy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we want this to be shared by everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome that not only people who go abroad, but also Pepperdine alum can experience the new upgrade.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
So with these 4 impressive projects, I'm sure that there are countless others that have passed your desk. And
some of them are still on the desk.
Yeah, yeah. So walk me through your line of thinking as to why these projects in particular enhance the mission of the university and are going to enhance student life.
Yeah, well, we do a lot of prayer. I begin each morning with a couple of my colleagues in prayer and just asking God to guide us. And you know, we believe He will bring us opportunities yeah. that become clear when we use the reason and abilities that He's given us. Mm-hmm. But to figure out what's central to our mission, what's core, because students are the center of everything we do. Mm-hmm. We're not going to just do things that will be cool for the university. It's how are students involved. We have 23% of our faculty publications are co-authored by students. Wow. Like our students are engaged there's very few schools in the country can say that. Our students are in the middle of everything, and so what we're trying to do is figure out what can enhance the student experience. So the Chateau enhanced the study abroad experience. The Mountain at Mullen Park is everyone, and its mental health and its community and its resilience. And you know, the School of Health Sciences, it's our students serving the community. And so we're looking for different opportunities there. We're expanding our Studio Global Justice Institute because more and more and more countries are saying, you have helped Uganda and Rwanda and Ghana transform their judicial systems. Can you help us? Mm-hmm. And it's our students who are in the middle of that. And then we're looking at Asia really closely. We used to be in Shanghai. prior to the pandemic. We didn't pull out because of the pandemic. We pulled out because there were real challenges with the regulatory environment in China. We couldn't own our own facility. We own our campuses everywhere. We weren't allowed to own there. So we're looking really, really closely right now at Japan as a potential next opportunity. We're looking closely at the continent of Africa. Like, we want to send our students not just to places of power, but to places of poverty, places where they can see the world and have an impact on them, to be able to serve, but more than anything, to learn, to grow. Your world gets so much bigger when you spend time in different cultures, and you learn from them way more than you teach them. And so we're looking closely at that. We're looking at some additional facilities that we're just about to begin construction on, a golf clubhouse for our golf teams. Wow. It's something that's been long overdue. All of our teams have a place to be. You know, the cross-country teams everywhere. But you know, there's a locker room for the other teams. There's not for golf. And we have one of the top 2 or 3 golf programs in the country. Year after year after year. We've had Lori Gibbs have been Coach of the Year twice. It's amazing. Michael, Coach of the Year once, national champion just a few years back. And so that project will begin, God willing, in May. And that's going to be a 1-year project, and it's going to be built on top of the field house, Firestone Field House. Oh, wow. There's actually a gap up there that's, I don't do square feet well, but something like 3,500 square feet. Wow. There's a video that's a fly through, like the mountain video, where you'll see the golf facility. It's the kind of thing that if you're going to be excellent, you need to have. And you've seen down at the Alumni Park where we've had some golf facilities built there on the left side. That's going to be upgraded substantially as well in the coming years. So we want to do things with excellence, and we want to do things for students. And so we're always on the lookout for what's the next thing that will take what's been happening for now 87 years, where Pepperdine has taken a step beyond what it had previously done and demonstrated its excellence. And so that's what we feel called to do as a leadership team, is to try and build on what's been given to us. And we feel that it's an important calling, and we're up to the task and eager for it. Yeah, well, that's what makes Pepperdine so special, I think, how student-centric it is, and that's why I came here, and that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm having such a great experience. So great. That's great to hear. And then just my last question is, why do you believe all this change is important for Pepperdine moving forward? So in my inaugural address, I talked about climbing. You know, the theme for that year was together. Each year we have a theme. This year, as you know, the theme is light. You can't avoid that anywhere you go on campus. You are the light of the world. Like, you got to see this. Yeah. The year before was joy. The theme was together. But when we're building a mountain and we are ascending, we want to ascend together. And so what we want to do is say, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take, as I said, take the baton from the person. Andy ran all the way through the finish line, handing me the baton, and it's my job to run all the way through the finish line until I hand the baton to my successor. And what that means is climbing. Like, if you're not climbing, you're not growing, and if you're not growing, you're not living. And so what we're trying to do is grow, but grow in the way that is consistent with our mission. We will never deviate from our Christian mission, our heritage, our ethos, our DNA. That's not going to change. Not as long as I'm president, and I have every reason to believe that when it's time for me to hand the baton, the board will choose someone who is also committed to the things that matter most to Pepperdine. And my hope is that we will be able to look back on those years, however many there are, and say that we fulfilled our promise to the generations before and to the generations to come, to grow and to climb and to continue to ascend as an institution. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, President Gash, for sitting down and taking the time to speak with me today. And thank you for being so involved with the student body and interacting with them and supporting us through our, journalism ventures and what have you. So thank you so much. My pleasure. And we really appreciate it.